Hello, my name is Steve Quern. I'm the creator of the Flower Child Project Man Spacecraft Design Concept. I am going to depart on what I'm doing on the FCP model and going to go old school 2004 presentation folder discussion concerning the Habitation module design theories, concepts, and theories. So oh, that's a color. Actually, we can actually name the colors and stuff, I think. We can name these materials. Okay, rename. I think we can rename that. Yeah. We can name that text. Okay. Then we can change the font. We're going to need to give it name. Um, FCP Habitation module. I'll go with modules with S, multiple, plural. Um, that's everything, so now we can scale it. Need to do everything else. Scaling is the last thing you need to do, otherwise you're going to jack up the, mess up the model. Okay, and with it, if I was on Delta CAD, yeah, I would have, I have 4 different page setups for Delta CAD for basic page setups. Legal paper with 1/28 inch spacings. Legal paper with 10 spaces per inch. And then I have legal, and then okay, yeah, okay, legal. That's 11 by 14, 11 by 14, and then you got the letter size, which is 8.5 by 11, and 8.5 by, which is 1/8 inch spacing, and then 10 spaces per inch, and then those are the basics. Some projects require multiple pages, and depending on how the pages are laid out, I will create that additional pages. For the drawing, and setting that up is kind of takes half hour to hour, depending on how well I'm comprehending what I'm doing. So and then because I have drafting training, you have border lines, you got the name of the project, the date of the project, the editing, the page numbers or the name of the page, and other data. So I have a system set up. It's not proper drafting procedures, but it works for me and doing my own thing. With Blender 3D and Prisma 3D, because they're not drafting applications, they don't have that format. So, you see here, once scale 1 equals 1 foot. We're looking at 20 feet, 24 feet for the habitation mod, 60 feet for the habitation modules. They're going to be horizontal. So 20, they're 50 feet. Okay. So we're going to go again. I don't have paperwork. I came up with this idea just a few minutes ago, and I'm just going with it. Okay, I got no notes or anything that I'm playing with. So okay, we're gonna move this down to -51. New text. Rename it. Okay, it's highlighted because this is not highlighted, so it's correct. But it flips on. It's not, the Prisma 3D is not consistent on this, so you gotta watch what it's doing. Okay, rename that. Scale text. Scale 1 text, actually. On version 2 and even version 1, I did scale 1, scale, for representing 1 foot, and then another scale for inches. And so I had multiple scale texts in version 1 and version 2. I'm pretty much before by the time version 3 came out, I was limiting myself to just single scale text. So let's see here. Fonts. I'm gonna go with bold. We're changing the text. Okay, we don't need the word text in this one. Scale 1 equals 1 foot, 0 dash 0 inch. Now the 0/0 is not accurate. But you want to go with 1/28 inch or it's there, but actually, we're not changing the color on that. What's that? Okay, let's go in there first, see what's going on. Okay. Your text. One. I said 1. I was not looking at what I was hitting. It could also that the amount you could put on the line on version 3 is nowhere. You can on version 2 you can have text way over here. Version 3, this is basically the limit of your text space. How much you can put on the line. So okay. We're done with everything, so we can scale it. One. Okay, and that. 61. Okay. We're going to add new text. This is going to be okay. Human skill text. Human volume, actually. Models text, okay. We're changing the font because I want to be able to see the capitals and stuff. This is not important. So your text. Okay, we need the text here, but down here we don't need the word text. So, get rid of that. Human volume models. Now this is 61. So we're going to go down to 71. And you can see how much difference that is. Forward, so we're going to go 0.5. That looks better. We're going to have that again. This is actually going to be 0.25. Yeah, I'm going to put these at 0.25. Okay, that looks better. So for the human volume now, I'm American, so we're using American English measurements. residential lumber measurements, which is 8 feet by 4 feet. And so it's a 4 feet by 4 feet cube. Name that. Now I do fluctuate on the terminology. Sometimes I say basic. I also say generic. Human volume. I'll use generic for this project. And I'm going to move that to, oops, negative 25. And then we're going to create the model. We're doing the framework. Scale that. 6. 10. 6. We're going to create new, and it's going to be transparent. .5. And we can name this transparent. Now I do make transparent versions of like the engine nozzles, spacecraft frameworks, and stuff, multiple fuel tanks, oxidizer tanks. I have the opaque model, and I have a transparent model, so I can switch between the two. Let's see here, rename that. Generic frame structure, generic framework. Okay. So remove that. Negative 25. Oops. Negative 25. So the negative 35 plus 25 is negative 60. Nope, nope, nope. Wrong one. Project name. Oh, we're going to move it. Okay. We're going to move it down another 25. So yeah, 30. Okay. Negative 60. Then we have to go another 10, so negative 70. Actually, yeah, 60 would work. And then we change that to negative 70. Okay. This is the center point. That's the origin point. That's 0, 0. And that's where our objects get generated. So the the original, the Flower Child project habitation module design. Oh, yep. Act, there. The volume is going to go inside the framework because it's smaller. And then we hide that. And then we go into there. Now see the pyramid. What the hell? Okay. There. That's not cluttered. Okay, now we're going to we need to create the text, new text. Nope. Rename that. FCP Habmod version 2 models texts. Changing the font to Robo Mono Light. We're changing the text. FCP Hab Mod version I may have memory issues on this tablet. Okay, we'll just go back to the project. Okay, I need to change the text here first. FCP Hab Mod version 2. I said 2. I'm slipping down. Okay. Version 2 models. I'm going to scale that 0.25. And we're going to highlight that, and we're going to move it down to -80. Okay, the main difference between version 1 and version 2 is in version 1, I took the overall dimensions and the little circle here, and then this is, and then the feet, here's the feet, and here's the, and I said the whole thing, and I just put lines in it, and so the whole thing was about 24 feet, and then assuming 8-foot ceilings, I just divided the thing up to for ease, and so 84 feet is like, okay, I'm at 24 feet. That's version 1. Version 2 is I put frameworks between the 8-foot decks and on the outside of the 8-foot decks. So that's what version 2 is. There is no official version 3 or version 4, whatever. Now you have type A, the Flower Child and the original 2004 presentation folder. You have type A, Flower Child type A, Flower Child type B, Flower Child type 1, Flower Child type 2. I gotta look at the data, but those are in reference to the habitation module orientations and the human orientation within the habitation module, and those also are reference to how the Apollo service module is modified by the Flower Child project. Is how the Flower Child project propulsion system differs from the Apollo service module design. The version, but okay. What do we have here? Okay, I put it down there. So, what we're going to do is skillet. The deck is 8 feet high. The habitation module is based on the lunar module's landing position and the feet down, the outside diameters of the feet on the lunar module landing position, which is 31 feet. And 31 feet. Now that's the external. The internal is having 1 foot framework, so it's actually 29 feet interior. And we're going to move this up to 50. And then we're going to rotate it. And wait a minute. Yeah. We can color code that. Okay. And then, okay, yeah. Let's see here. Oh, we need to rename, well, we're just going to name it deck right now. Now we copy that. And we're going to move it 8. And then we're going to move it 1 more to represent the wall structure, frame structure between the 2 decks. Oops. There. Now, version 2 reason why I believe the reason why you can be able versions you can rotate things, grab this and then grab this deck and say I want to be over here between name text and scale text, and you can't do it in version 3. Is in version 2, when you make a copy of something, it goes, you have a parentheses, a number. The first copy would be number 1. The second copy would be number 2. And you don't have that, so I think that's what's going on there. Pardon moi, I'm yawning. So we highlight that, copy that, move to -9. Change it to that. So 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. This is the common deck. Rename it. This is the mission deck. Nope, nope, no, 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 no. The propulsion systems is over there, so that's going to be the privacy deck. And then this is going to be the mission deck. So now we're going to create another cylinder. We're going to scale it. 24, 28. 31. 31. Rotate it. And we're moving it up to 50. Yeah, that's okay. So then we're changing the material. New material. Color. 00. Transparent. 0.5. So And naming the material. All opaque. We're changing the name on that. All shear. And you see how so we know which one's which. If I was to have a nozzle, an opaque nozzle, it'd be even darker. Okay, let's get all that. So that is the version 2 habitation module. So now, oh, this is a name. FCP Hab Mod Volume. Habitation module. Volume. Okay, I exited that, I think. Okay. Let's rename this thing. FCP Habitation Modules. And you can see that they changed colors. That's the human text. Generic framework. And that's just the yellow below, that's whatever. Okay, so now we're going to, wait a minute. We're going to move that. '24. '24, 48, so we're going to move it to the 15. That is wrong. The visual graphics of that is wrong. Okay, the common deck is going to be moved to 50. The privacy deck is going to be moved to 59. Now you see how that's the way it's supposed to look. And you see how that and then the mission deck is 50 subtract 9 is 41. Okay. Now, the text since it's 31, 50 subtract 30, 31 divided by 2, 15.5, subtract 50, that's 40, 34.5. 30. So now we can group this stuff together. The mission deck, the common deck, and the privacy deck. Wait, what? So where's the common deck? Okay. Now, okay, so now with the, so that's the this is the original conception of the Flower Child Project Habitation module. The Habitation module for the Flower Child revision of the Apollo CSM-LM spacecraft design. During the 1990s, I worked on what I called the FCP STS habitation. Excuse me, SCP FCP STS habitation module design. It is a variation of this design, but meant to fit within the cargo bay of the STS space shuttle. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new text. We're naming it. Come on. FCP STS Hab mod models texts. Let's see here. We're changing the font. We're changing the text. FCP ST Habitation modules models. Model. And we're going to scale that to 0.25. Okay, and we're going to move that down to -80 for the time being. So let's see here. We create a model, new model. Scale it 60 feet by 15 feet. By 15 feet. And we're going to give it the Hall shear because this is the frame that's the overall volume. Rotating that. and we're going to rename it. FCP STS Habitation Module Volume. I'm going to say version 2. Rename it. I'll just leave it. So this is we're going to move it up to 50. We're going to move it to -60. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40. We're going to move it to -70. Okay, that's been named. Okay, so now we're going to create a new deck. New deck. And we're going to make it opaque. You can choose, for example, okay, this is a common deck. We can make it sheer. And so you can, if we put stuff inside the deck, we can see that and make the contents of the deck opaque. You got options here. Okay, so yeah. Okay, cylinder. We're going to okay, we're going to name that deck. And then we're going to scale it. 8 feet high. 8 feet high. And then because the frame structure is 1 foot thick and it has to fit in the shuttle bay, which is 15, the deck is going to be 13 feet diameter. And we rotate that. And we move it. I said 50. I make mistakes. I do have an eye injury, and sometimes that does kick in. But I also have habits of missing things without the eye. It's and then this is -70. Wait, no. It looks fat. But it's not. It's just because it's smaller in diameter. It's the same. Okay. -70. Optical illusions. Now, we copy that. -70 plus 9 is -79. Change the material to opaque. All. And copy that again. -79 plus 9 is 88. And then we're going to copy that again. Oh, wait a minute. Plus 9 is 97. 97. Material, that. And then we go with that. And you can see that it's overextended. What I did on my okay, we're gonna I fudged the numbers a little bit. I don't know how I did these were not, the outside were not 8 feet. They were like 7 or 6 feet. I'm going to see how that works. Copy that. 70 subtract 9, 61. Color that. I'm not ready to set up here. Okay. Copy. Okay, just get out of there. Copy. Move. Subtract 9, 52. Copy. Move 9, 41. Wait, 43. Come on. Yeah, let's see here. We're going to make you opaque for the time being. We're going to move you up a little bit to 55. And oh, that's flush. So we go with 95. Move it. -2. 68. We're going to need to do that so we can see what's getting hidden and what's not. Okay. Move, subtract 2, -77. We subtract 2 is 86. Now the reason I'm doing the entire number is Prisma 3D occasionally likes to, when you're moving things around, likes to add or subtract divides they put in here. If you don't do the total deletion, if you do only a partial deletion, and you put in a number, it'll add or subtract that new number they put in to replace the old number. So it goes, instead of going to the position that you want it to, it goes to the position plus or minus the number that you added. So 86 minus 86 is over here. And it's like, what? And then you gotta use the arrow keys to get it back and adjust it correct. And then you can't get it correct, precise. It's at 0.00 something off. You know, between 1 and 9, it gets off between 0.001 and 0.009, some value between there. And you can be able to get it closer to 0.000, but it's still, you know, it's like 0.001, 0.004 or some stupid. So I just did an entire number, including the minus, to escape that BS. Oh, okay. Okay, we're going to make you opaque again. Shear for a bit. Okay. Now, you did that one. You did that one. You did that one. You did that one. So this one needs to be moved. 59. Oh, 50. And then that one. 41. Okay. Okay. So this module is not going to be 60 feet in length. Oh, great. So that deck is going to get deleted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 1, 2, 48, 49, 51, 52, 53, 4, 55. Scale it. 55. 31. 31. No, I did not press this key here. So if I try to change the numbers here to 55, it may add or subtract. I don't know. It's weird. Okay, so renaming that Flower Child Project. Come on, behave. Space transportation. No, I accidentally pressed that instead of the text. But, wait. Rename. Flower Child Project. Space Transportation System. Habitation. Module. Volume. This one is going to get deleted because it's no good. Rotate it. 90. Opaque. That one. Transparent, I mean. So it's 55 minus 55. And you want to go 40. So 65. Come on. No, that, okay. What's happening is it's not, whatever. 65. Let's make it opaque. Move it to 55. What the crack? Oh. I messed up. Delete that. New cylinder. Shear. $55. 15. That's also when you have notes and stuff with you, you can reference the notes and say, oh, okay, this is what's going on here. Cat, no. She bumped my hand. And we're going to negative 65. Okay. Oh, we need to make that opaque. Move it to negative 40, negative 41, negative 41.5. It's flush, so it's negative 42.5. Cylinder, we're going to make it shear again. So we can know what's going on here. Negative 42.5 plus 1, negative 9. Minus 51.5. minus 60.5. I said that. Move to negative 69.5. $69.5, $78.5. $78.5 on the 9 is 87.9. $87.5. Okay. Move you back to proper height. There we go. So rename that. Flower Child Project. Oops. Space Transportation System. Habitation. Module. Volume. And we want to know where is that located. Want to know where that's located? Negative 65. So we go with the text. Negative 65. Minus 20. Minus 10. And minus 5. Wait. Now it's doing the math. 1, 2, 3, 3. Wait a minute. 38. Now, okay, it's stuck. It did not do that. Okay. All right. So there we go. Now within the 2004 presentation folder, there were 3 mission roles for the STS, the FCP STS Habitation module. And then there was a generic framework structure design. I think I need to go look at my folder. The 3 mission roles were research and exploration, outer space tourism, and privacy mobile home, I think, was the 3rd one. Or it could have been mercantile trading. It was one of those 2. So with the so you had basically different decks. You had you had 3 crew decks. Basically the Apollo crewmen, the commander, the pilot, and the navigator engineer. And then for the tourism, you have 3 tourists decks. Or well, you had to have a common deck, and then you have the two tourist decks, or common maybe a common deck, the tourist deck, and then you have a tourist. Now, what I did, because these were fudged, I think you had 7 decks on the with it. Well, I gotta look at the folder, but I think there could have been 7 decks, and because the outer decks were not full-sized decks, there was knocked off a bit. So you have the 3 crewmen, the Apollo crewmen that were operating the spacecraft, and then you had 1 or 2 decks for you had a common deck. These would be privacy decks, and you had the common deck, and you had the mission deck, and then you had 1 or 2, and you had 2 tourists, and those tourist decks would be privacy decks, also. So, and that's so then as a mission for outer space research and exploration, you had the 3 astronauts, the common deck, and the mission deck, and you have one or two specialists, mission specialists. But within this format, you have the three: the common deck, the mission deck, and then you have a specialist. And these would be the privacy deck, the specialist privacy decks. So we're going to say, I named this Crewman number 1 privacy deck. You name that Crewman number 2 privacy deck. I named that Crewman number 3 privacy deck. Privacy deck. Oops. Because this could be passenger or crew. So it's going to be generically labeled privacy. And then this is the common deck. And then this will be the mission deck. Now the mission deck, the reason I call it a mission deck is because if you have, okay, let me finish this off. If the spacecraft is outer space research and exploration vehicle, the mission deck will have equipment designed for the outer space research and exploration activities that NASA, ESA, JAXA, and whatever would want to engage in. They want, if, for example, they want to do some astrogation research while in Earth and while in lunar orbit. Then that's the mission deck would be specialized for that. If the spacecraft was an outer space tourism vehicle, the mission deck would have equipment and stuff associated with outer space tourism activities. So, and if it's a private mobile home type spacecraft, the you would have the common deck then that would be like the living room area, and you have spare rooms for visitors and stuff. The privacy decks. So that would be the living room, the social area. That would be on the spacecraft. Maybe you would have professional, if you have, I don't know. So that's the that's the FCP STS Habitation Module Design concept. And the purpose of the FCP STS Habitation Module Design is to show how the can evolve over time. Although this evolutionary development is a no-go because it's designed for the STS space shuttle, and the space shuttle is no longer existent, and so it's it's an exercise in how it can evolve. It was not meant to be. Well, this is what It's a theoretical exercise, like the FCP model is a theoretical exercise. So that's the Flower Child project habitation module design theory concept.